Hello and welcome back to Elkniodaphs Plays. We had a technical uh, error, and I wanted to rectify it. I didn't want to leave this flight plan unflown. The console just crashed. The last thing I remember was looking at a road that was big, and maybe it was just too much road for the console to render, man. Like, that was a big road, right? And I didn't want to leave it at that, so I wanted to pop back in, and I tried to approximate what remained of the flight as close as possible, and we're just going to go ahead and finish that off now. We only had about 20 minutes left. It's a shame, um, but consider this a situation where I had to make an emergency landing, and now, we're bringing we're bringing our cigarette shipment over to Hilo International. You know what I'm saying? Like, had to make a quick pit stop, ran out of gas or something. Um, but raise landing gear. But yeah, I didn't want to leave it at that. I felt like I wanted to finish the flight, and that's what we're gonna do, man. So yeah, I approximated the rest of the flight as close as I could, and I'll tell you what. For the rest of it, we're gonna fly low. I want to see what's out here. So we're gonna do this north by northwest thing and just kind of buzz these fields.
Roger, JMB Aviation 213.
I've got a bit of wind pulling me around. Lots of cloud cover out here. I think we might be passing a uh, what I can only imagine is a volcano um, in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You know what? I want to get above these clouds. I don't want to fly this close to land inside of this much cloud cover. I think that's probably unsafe. But yeah, I the game glitched out, and I didn't want to. I was like, you know what? Forget it. I made most of the flight. Let's move on. I have some bubblegum crisis to watch. But that doesn't solve this crisis, man. You know, I gotta deliver my fictional shipment of cigarettes to Hilo International. I gotta do it, man. Johnny needs his cigarettes. Um, yeah. Uh, I don't know what that was about. I mean, my cat was jumping around. I don't think it was the cat though. She's more interested in like wires and stuff, and all the important wires I have tucked behind the console and various shelves. Wow, there's a lot of clouds out here right now. This is the most clouds I've seen since I've started playing this game, uh, 2 weeks ago, which is odd because you'd think you'd see more, but I just it just hasn't come up. It's been clear skies. I can't explain it. But yeah, just as a recap, next week I'm doing Iceland. Wow, plane is doing some crazy junk out here, man. Next week I'm doing Iceland. I don't want this to discourage me. I'm definitely going to keep going forward because I have 12 episodes planned. And again, the last episode is Wadi Rum. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. That's the desert where they have filmed Dune 2021, and I've seen some stills from the movie. I'm really looking forward to that movie. Uh, and you know, on HBO. And I think it would be cool to kind of fly around in there. Maybe we'll get worm sign. Who knows? But yeah, so I think this is probably a volcano. Like, you have this like image of a volcano in your head of like this very craterous uh, protrusion, and 9 times out of 10 that's simply not the case. This is a very like rounded top, um, very like subtle against the horizon, but yeah, very likely a volcano. There's volcanoes everywhere out here, man. We have a park in the United States called Yellowstone National Park, and it's reportedly a uh, a layer of crust, earthen crust, above like like surface level core. So you have this situation where like one day that whole thing might just melt down into the earth. That's why it's you see these geysers and everything popping up all the time out there. Look at the mist of the clouds in those trees. That's impressive. That's some impressive, you know, graphics going on. That's really cool. You can see them rolling in. It's pretty amazing. Kind of spooky, right? You get like spooky Halloween vibes. This dark, like, you know, almost like a dark German forest covered in fog, just rolling in. It's a nice effect. It really seems to be hanging around the trees, like the trees hold in that fog. That's a cool effect. This is a cool little aesthetic we have going on right now out here. Doesn't seem real. I mean, it's not real, but you know, doesn't seem real. But yeah, I didn't want to let it lie with the game glitching out, and I was almost there, man. That's the sucky part of it. Like I was so close, and then the game was like, nope, Chuck Testa. I bet you thought you could make it to Hilo International. Nope, Chuck Testa. But hey, guess what, game? I'm making it to Hilo International now. We are well on our way. Um, and like I said previously, it's this like cute little kind of crescent-shaped resort town. You know, I mean, it appears to be from the sky. Um, and it just seems like a really cool, like it seems like the vacation spot that people don't know about. You know what I'm saying? It's got an airport right next to it. Like you literally land at Hilo International, and uh, like find a hotel room 3 minutes away. It's really quite the place to be. I think it's where you'd want to be if you went on vacation in Hawaii.
Aviation 213 contact approach on 121.6 Good day.
Going to 12.
My cat is in a mood right now.
Aviation 213. Approach JMB Aviation 213, 6,100 feet.
I really like the way that the clouds are interacting with this geography. I hadn't seen that yet. It's pretty impressive. We have this interesting feature over here. This kind of white dot in the middle of green and brown fields. Let's go see what that is. That's what I love about this flight simulator is you see something strange in the distance, you're like, oh, let's go check it out. You know what I'm getting like vibes of? Like RPG overworld vibes. Like this is where like Squall from Final Fantasy VIII is running between, capital cities. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting RPG overworld vibes out here, and I'm into it. Oh, dry rivers. We got dry rivers. There's dry rivers everywhere, man. Or you know what? If this is truly a volcano, this could be um, like, like, I don't know, like obsidian valleys or something. I don't know. Um, yeah, they kind of do look rocky. I bet you this is volcano flow, and we have very interestingly rendered house. It looks just kind of flat against the ground. Um, the AI is supposed to render that in 3 dimensions, but it failed in this particular instance. Man, look at that sea of clouds. That's going to make my job difficult, isn't it? I have this fear of not being able to land. I expressed this last week on the stream, and uh, I always feel like it's going to be a stupid mistake, like forgetting to put my landing gear down, or touching down on the runway like 2/3 down its length or something. You know what I mean? But in reality, what it's going to be is like I'm going to touch down, I'm going to bounce back up, and then not be able, and then just go wild all over the place. Like that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be like a smooth thing. It's just going to be like a rough landing. I don't think I'll botch a landing entirely. I'll get the plane on the ground. uh, there's that famous refrain that pilots often mention, that any landing you can walk away from is a good landing. That might very well be true, but you know what it is? It's Top Gun on the NES has programmed me to believe that landing a plane in a video game is hard. Top Gun on the NES is brutal. But it's fun. And I got to a point as a kid where I could land planes in that game consistently. And speaking of Top Gun, I believe that they're releasing Top Gun DLC for this game. I think it's free. That'll be really cool. I don't think that'll influence my streams at all, because if I'm piloting around in a Top Gun style aircraft, I'm going to be zooming by everything I want to see, and that's not my style. I want to take it slow and kind of check everything out. That's the whole idea. Every stream is going to be like approximately 2 hours. Um, you know, uh, so the speed of the craft doesn't really matter, because if it's a faster aircraft, then it'll be a longer distance. Shorter aircraft, or slower aircraft, shorter distance. The cohesion is going to be in the amount of time it takes to get from point A to point B. That's always going to be consistent. That's going to be That's going to be like an hour, 50 minutes, 2 hours. Oh, Honolulu approach. Okay, so this isn't the vacation spot that no one knows about. I didn't know what island I
KMB
was on.
Aviation,
Hey man, I
213,
just fly the plane.
6,700 feet.
Honestly, I've
KMB
never been
Aviation,
good at the Hawaiian
213,
Islands.
Honolulu
Like,
Broadcast Center,
I
transfer
couldn't tell you
decimal
which one was
continue
which.
as
I can only
planned.
tell you which one Oahu is because I've played Test Drive Unlimited. That's the only reason. But yeah, this cloud cover is going to make it kind of difficult, huh? Started watching Masters of the Universe. That's really good. I highly recommend it. I'll tell you, the first time you see He-Man's uh, Sailor Moon style transformation, you get chills. Really good. Um, I was actually so impressed with it that I talked my girlfriend into watching it with me. I think she has a passive interest in it. I don't think it's like her favorite thing or anything, but I think it's something that she'll appreciate when she sees it. I mean, it really did impress me quite a bit. So much so that I decided I can't watch anymore without involving her because I feel like I would feel guilty that she would be missing out. I really do like the way that the clouds interact with the geography. Really cloudy out here. We didn't get to see the big volcano like I wanted to. It's so cloudy, but um, but hey, that's what you get. Sometimes it's just cloudy out. I see kind of a hole in the clouds. That's where we'll drop down and land at the airport. Looking pretty good. This has been a solid flight. It really sucks that the Xbox couldn't handle it, you know. But I didn't give up. I'm back. I'm doing it. I mean, it would have been really easy for me to turn it off and be like, you know what? It didn't work out this time. Time to go drink some coffee and watch Bubblegum Crisis. But it's not what I'm doing, man. I gotta do it. I gotta see it through. This is the commitment. These planes aren't gonna fly themselves. I gotta do it. You see, it's like a crescent shape. You can see it kind of wrap around the water out there. And, man, I can only imagine how expensive it is to live out there. But yeah, just as a reminder, next week, doing Iceland, um, home of Bjork, famously. And I'll have a new sandwich to talk about. Um, Today's sandwich, 7.0. I'm giving it a 7.0. Last week's sandwich, 6.5. So today's sandwich, so far, is the reigning champ. And that's ham and Swiss on a Hawaiian, King's Hawaiian roll with your onion, with your butter, Worcestershire sauce, and mustard. Those last four ingredients form a glaze you put on top of the completed sandwich, stick it in the oven for 20 minutes. And I'll tell you this, my house smelled amazing. There's really something about like baking baking onion. Like frying onion smells good too, but baking onion smells really good. Like very there's something nostalgic for me in that, and I can't put my finger on it. But yeah, very good. Today's sandwich was very good. Next week's sandwich, don't know what it's going to be. I'm going to have to look into Icelandic sandwiches. I'm imagining. I've seen some open face stuff. I've seen some stuffed sandwiches, like pita style, but in a bread that doesn't look like pita. So I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah, I'll look into it. And yeah, eventually we're going to be flying in Wadi Rum, and that's going to be, I don't know what. I mean, at that point, I might just be eating a hamburger from Burger King. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. We'll. I mean, I'm not going to eat anything I patently don't like, just because of the show. Like, what is that? This isn't Fear Factory. Fear Factory. I almost said Fear Factory. I've been listening to them a lot lately too. Fear Factory. Speaking of test drive, Fear Factory has been on several uh, um, test drive soundtracks, and this, started in Oahu, which was recreated in full in Test Drive Unlimited, which this very stream is named after. So it's all connected. This is what I'm talking about. You get your red yarn and you start putting it in your crazy person board. You figure this all out, man. I have a whole system. But yeah, let's pause it. Pause my flight. You can do this in mid-air. And let's talk to... How did I do this last time? I want to do it right. I mean, I'm already ready to land. Like, it's right there in front of me. I have to figure that out too. Yeah, Hilo International. I was able to get like a... I was able to landing and taxi guides. I was able to get like an approach vector on the last stream. I'm not sure how I did it. But you know what? I can see the runway. I'm not an idiot. I'll just fly to the runway. Turn all the systems off. I'll do it manually.
Kilo Tower JMB Aviation 213 is 4 miles west, 2,700 feet with Charlie to land.
JMB Aviation 213 Hilo Tower. Altimeter tree 0.07, wind 0 tree 0.17. Fly straight in runway 8. JMB Aviation
You'd think there'd be some taller buildings around here. Like, this seems like a big deal area, right?
Runway 8.
Like, doesn't Squaresoft have like a... Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Doesn't Squaresoft have like a render farm out here? Squaresoft gonna need a tall building.
JMB Aviation
Where's Squaresoft
213,
tall
did you hear
building?
my last transmission?
Alright. So yeah, I guess I just had to wait. It's gonna pop up. I get my vector. Big hotel off to the left there.
JMB
Man, this
Aviation
this would be an
213,
expensive vacation, I'll tell you. Can you imagine? Or baseball fields. Those are some crappy baseball fields for what seems like such a rich area. Get better baseball fields, guys. Man, I'm listing hard to the right. This is going to be a rough landing. Also, I should probably put my landing gear down. Good idea. Cut my engine. Oof.
JMB Aviation 213 ATC service is terminated.
Oh my god. Ah. Yeah, dude. Oh, oof. All right. I'm going to turn the AI pilot on because I do not like taxiing. I'm not into it. But yeah, that was the stream. That was pretty much the whole state of California from northwest to southeast. And I'm going to let it finish taxiing. I'm going to cut my mic, but let it finish taxiing. So, uh, technical errors aside, I think it was a pretty good stream. And like I said, next week we're going to do Iceland. We'll see how that goes. I really want to buckle down and figure out what the deal is with that notification about the incorrect heading. Like, I get it. It says incorrect heading. That's because I, kind of weave around in and out of my flight plan because I'm interested in looking at things. But I want to figure out how to turn that off. And I think I want to turn off uh, audible chatter too, because it doesn't really add anything to the experience, especially during a stream. I think it just kind of gets in the way of my narration. So yeah, that'll come off. And I have 12 episodes to figure this out. This is only the second episode, so we're gonna make these iterative improvements as we go. And ultimately, I think maybe by the last episode we'll figure out what the heck we're doing. So that was pretty good. And I like this plane. This is a good plane. I think I still prefer the Cessna, and I still prefer the Hammond Swiss. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Kilo ground JMB Aviation 213 request taxi to parking.
JMB Aviation 213 taxi to General Aviation parking via taxiway Delta Alpha Cross runway 21 Alpha Charlie.
Taxiing to General Aviation parking via taxiway Delta Alpha Cross runway 21 Alpha Charlie JMB Aviation 213.